Horizon Apex and Powerhouse. We're getting started here already here on Nepal, and casting with me right now is HX. How you doing, HX?
Pretty good, Odori. It is a great day for some Overwatch, and Nepal is a great place to start because there's such a wide variety of hero choices they can make. So, what do you expect to see here? Because these are new teams for me.
These teams are very, very similar with regards to what they like and don't like to play. So it'll be interesting to see what they actually start off with, but they'll probably go a little bit meta. It looks like Haplo and it looks like Horizon Apex here in blue will be going with a dive start off here with Tyler and Dersey on the DPS. On the opposite side here, it looks like Mythos is going to start off on a Reinhardt, so they might be looking for some ground and pound here coming on from Powerhouse. So they're about to start off here, and now they're going to head into the point, and it looks like both teams here taking a little bit of a different route. It looks like they are going on the high ground here. Horizon Apex deciding to go with Haplo onto the left side, whereas the other team has looks like Powerhouse here has decided to sort of deathball it and go up through the right. So now it looks like they're just sort of poking each other, trying to figure out what's going on here. Schwinn J is actually trying to hang with Dersey here, all on the periphery, just making sure they're trying to maybe see if they can get a quick pick, and down goes Zoras, and that's what they were looking for. Nif Nif here on the other side, looking for a pick for himself here to pick up for Powerhouse. Powerhouse doesn't really do anything as they give up the point here without actually contesting, and now they're going to have to back up here and wait for their to come back.
Yeah, really, it was all about angles there. Dersey was pretty well on top of where the approaching Powerhouse team was, whereas Nif Nif was just trying to figure out what was going on with that Winston from Haplo, just coming out on the side. So he's got to find a little bit better angle, try to get some more damage on the point.
Yeah, it looks like here, though, it looks like Eek7 gets only taken out, but Mythos gets taken out here. Takes out Tyler also, so we've got a one-for-one trade. I don't know how even that's going to be, but it looks like here a little bit of disarray. As it looks like Powerhouse here does take out Bread's mech, so therefore they've got a little bit of an advantage here, trying to push in. They're looking a little passive here, not being very aggressive, sort of wondering what is going on, waiting for their Mercy. It looks like their Mercy is trapped in the back here, half of being hyper-aggressive into the back by himself. He survives and takes out Zoros at the same time, so they lose another one here on the point. They haven't been able to push properly. As Tyler takes out 6 feet under, they lose another support here on their push, and they've got to back up again. They're not looking very good here initially here on the Pagoda.
No, there's definitely some communication issues going on here because they're not pushing in as quickly as you would expect. Usually you want that Reinhardt in there so he can start swinging away or get close some gaps, close some space. But Tyler's kind of keeping them on edge here with this Widowmaker. So now they're going to go through the indoor, try to minimize the space where Widowmaker can attack them, and maybe try to get on point a little faster with this series of ultimates that they've built up.
Yeah, and the thing about it is also Halflo is actually pushing in really, really aggressively here. He's able to beat the one-man sort of wrecking crew here with the Winston. Barrage comes through, does really nothing, gets taken out, as well as looks like a dragon here coming in from Powerhouse. That gets some distractions here as they get pushed on to the point, and now it looks like they have a clear advantage. Halflo here by himself is Discord. He's going to have to run here unless he wants to basically nope, he's going to try to get away. They're going to try to take him out, and they absolutely do. He staggers himself a little bit, but they actually keep 94% here, so that it's basically down to one fight here for Horizon Apex on the stage. Now they're going to try to push in and wait a little bit. They just basically need to make sure they come in as 6, attack clean, and I think they got this. But Powerhouse here looking to sort of hold it for the rest of the time.
Yeah, Powerhouse only had to use one ultimate there, Mercy's ult, and they've already rebuilt most of it there to get that point. So they are sitting with a lot higher ultimates. Tyler has popped vision though, and with sights up, they're going to be able to see the team, and that's how Zoros is able to start off. Oh, but no, Zoros actually picked Tyler off there.
Yeah, he did pick Tyler off there, and the Diva Bomb here sent into the back. I think that was meant to catch Schwinn J, but it didn't really actually get anyone. Now it looks like a Diva Bomb popped over the Mega Health down in the corner, but nothing doing, but left takes out Morbid, so therefore they lose the support. Mythos also gets one also, and it looks like your Powerhouse finally getting a good, clean advantage here on Apex, as Apex looking a little ragged here in the corner. Dersey here trying to sort of make up for the kills that have been happening. He's still sort of hanging out there, and actually barrages Zoros in his face, takes him out, but gets taken out by 6 feet under. They are staggering themselves, but they're going to try to keep pushing here. The res came up, and now they're going to try to push Powerhouse off. This fight is still going. Red gets immediately sort of earth-shattered here, but it looks like the Winston ult was able to sort of push him off, so Mythos gets pushed off the point, but they still have control here as nobody from Horizon Apex is able to sort of do anything, but kills now coming. Dersey gets gets the mech from Legend, and now he's doing some work here, 6 feet under, trying to sort of hold the point by himself with that Transcendence, but no, he gets taken out. Kills coming from Horizon Apex as they push through. They finally get the point back, but now they're just doing some cleanup here. I don't think Powerhouse is able to come back. It looks like the Legend here is going to try to touch the point and stall. He can. Oh, he got pushed off, and that's going to do it. Horizon Apex draws first blood here on Paul.
Jersey had a really heads-up play there. He actually popped that barrage on that Hanzo, knowing that the Hanzo's in a position where he cannot get resurrected, whereas he was in a position where he could get resurrected should they get the kill on him after he barraged. He's also in somewhat of a defensive position where that kill might not have happened, so because of that, they pushed in with 6 people against 5. It was pretty much a foregone conclusion at that point, able to get a couple good picks and close it out, finish off the point. So now, we do know that this is not the map that I think that this team really was looking for here. This is the map with a little bit more ground and pound kind of play style here. So I would expect this one to be a little bit more in the favor of Powerhouse, who seem to really favor that Reinhardt. And we know Winston's pretty popular on the previous map.
Yeah, so like this ground and pound is basically up their alley, so this is what they're going to be looking for here. They're going to similar comp here, so it looks like Haplo also on the Reinhardt here. They immediately just sort of go to the point and just sort of charge in here. Now it looks like Haplo tried to get a charge, didn't really catch any, did catch actually 6 feet under, excuse me. He did get somebody in the back, but he gets pushed back by the rest of the team here. There's a Mei on the point trying to separate the fight here for Horizon Apex. So that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to sort of make it into little mini fights here on the point, but Mythos and Zoros here coming back, trying to reclaim this point, and they absolutely do. Powerhouse gets the advantage of that point. Fred got singled out and taken out here by Mythos, and now they're sort of down 1 tank as they're trying to sort of push up their Horizon Apex here, trying to push back and do what they want to do here. Haplo trying to get, looks like Ike trying to actually try to nullify their advantage here on the support line. They do take Tyler actually gets Ike taken out here, and now they're sort of pushing back again. Haplo with the Earth Shatter doesn't catch anything, but the Earth Shatter from the other side here from Mythos actually does catch 3, as now they're just sort of cleaning up. This fight is non-stop. A Diva Bomb here onto the point to clear people out. Dustin doing as Haplo gets that shield up, and now Horizon Apex is going to try to take their advantage and clear out Powerhouse. They absolutely do. Bomb there actually just sort of trying to push Powerhouse off the point as they're still fighting here. Dersey gets 2, and now it looks like Powerhouse is going to have to come back. Whoa, Dersey did some work here at the end, catching 3.
Now the difference here is Brigida versus Mei, and the Mei had a couple walls that just weren't blocking really anyone off. They don't look that comfortable with this Mei here on the Powerhouse side with Nif there. So now they are going to have to come in with some kind of alternate strategy here. Maybe even just try to build that Mei ult and get some kind of thing. So it looks like they are switching up to a Diva here.
Yeah, it looks like they want to do a little bit of extra tankiness here to just sort of combat what Horizon is running, because they are running pretty much a GOATS comp here just to make sure with triple support. So now here they come in again. It looks like the Graviton was eaten. No, it looks like a Graviton comes in now and it catches all of Horizon Apex there. Fred actually takes out the Legends mech. And Mythos gets Tyler, but there is a switch here onto the point, as it looks like your Powerhouse was able to cap the point back. Haplo here trying to do his best to sort of try to take it back and hold on, and it looks like Dueling Coalescence is coming out from the outside, and it looks like they're trying to sort of push in and push Powerhouse right back off the point. And a Graviton here comes out, catches Powerhouse, but a great wall here to block off the Diva Bomb. Fantastic play here on the point. They get 2 kills and are going to send Horizon Apex backpacking and going to reset here. Wall comes up to fully just sort of end that fight. Good job there by Powerhouse.
Yeah, you don't often see a Mei getting a great counter with a Graviton, because the wall oftentimes is just delaying the inevitable, but that one was preemptive, got the bomb in it. Amazing play there on his part. Earlier in that fight, actually, the Mei had yet another counter, throwing the Blizzard out so that the Graviton wouldn't be that strong. All in all, great plays by the Mei.
Excellent, and another great play here to separate Haplo and the Zarya here. Just try to see if they can get a pick early, and they do. They get Jersey, and Haplo is basically now trying to regroup with the rest of his team, but they're missing Zarya, so that's going to be real big. So they do take Ike down, so they lose the support here on the Powerhouse side as they're trying to fight their best, and it looks like another Graviton here will catch. Looks like Horizon Apex here onto the point. They're at 99% here. They need to win this fight, or this map is going to be over. But there comes the male. Nif going to try to do his best to freeze anybody here on the point. And it looks like looks like a bomb here actually gets shielded into the corner. Fantastic charge there by Haplo as the fight continues here onto the point. They're trying to sort of separate out Horizon Apex into like sort of two separate groups to fight them separately, but it didn't happen there. 6 feet under, let's get a kill here at the end. I think Powerhouse here is going to need to reset as they lose Mythos here. They're not doing it quick enough, and they're just getting staggered here as Horizon sort of just turning the screws a little bit here, while Powerhouse are trying to sort of come back.
And what has to be the longest fight in Overwatch right there. I mean, that was a really heads-up charge by that Reinhardt Haplo. I really wish we could watch that again, because charging into that mech put it in a position where he could actually shield it from its entire team. And believe it or not, the blizzard, though, just ended as the mech was going to explode. So Tyler was actually able to get his shield up there, too, which blocked a lot of the mech as well.
Yeah, so this is going to be the final fight here as we go into the upper percentages, and they engage immediately. Mythos here with Earth Shatter does catch the Diva, but nothing really goes down. But Nif gets support here, so Swin goes down, and another pick off here by Powerhouse here. They're trying to take this fight advantage, and you're getting hyper aggressive here. They're going to try to focus in on Haplo, who uses the Shatter, but nothing doing. He gets taken down right away, and all the kills now coming in for Powerhouse. It is 99-99 here on the point. Twin J trying to sort of outlast the team, but it's 1v6, and they're not going to be able to do it. Cap comes in. Powerhouse now trying to just sort of get aggressive, make sure nobody gets onto the point, and they do that effortlessly. And it is a 199 fight here, as both teams looking fairly even here on the ball.
Yeah, Apex actually never got a really high value out of any of their Graviton surges. There's just no follow-up on it with the comp they were running, which typically follow-up is melee damage. Reinhardt and Brigida slamming away at whatever's in that turret and that thing. But Blizzard coming out from May there basically cut them off. It prevented the Rein from being able to swing, and it just took them out of the fight there. So the Graviton ended up not being valuable. The rest of the team kept themselves up, and it was pretty much a win there for Powerhouse. Now it's 1-1, and Powerhouse is pretty happy with the I know Apex, excuse me, is pretty happy with an Orisa comp here. That's one of their favorite things to run, they said in a survey we gave to them. And, you know, this is the map for Orisa, 100%.
Yeah, absolutely. I completely agree with that. So both teams going here with the pulled pork just to start off with, but I think the advantage here might be with Horizon Apex as they sort of come in. Both teams engage here right onto the point, and they're just sort of getting right down to business here as Brett gets pulled in, but he does not get punished for it. Zoras takes out Haplo, so the initial advantage here, but Haplo does get rezzed. So that's what's going on, but the kill feed is coming up all Powerhouse. But coming back here, very even fights from both teams. But it looks like Horizon got trapped into the back here. Jersey trying his best to do anything he can, but nothing doing. It looks like Morven here is going to get staggered a little bit, and an initial fight win goes to Powerhouse.
That's the difference of pressure on the different Widowmakers there. Tyler, massive pressure there from Nif on this Hanzo. Came around the corner, just shot a few shots at him, got him to line of sight a little bit better. And Zoros just taking a more aggressive positioning there, not really worrying too much about getting shot back at. So now both Widow sights going out. That's going to favor the defense because they're going to be able to see where this offense is coming from.
Yeah, it is going to favor the defense here, and this is such a hard point to take as they're going to try to sort of push in. It looks like both teams are sort of like hanging out. Apex, you're waiting for the sights to go down. Legend actually gets hooked in, and it costs him his mech, so big kickoff there, as it looks like Jersey also takes out the Widow on the other side here for Powerhouse. So looking in a bit of trouble here, and then Dragon comes through. That was enough to sort of finish off Haplo, and Mythos here getting the kill, but a res comes in by Ike, but isn't able to do it. Another Dragon here. That looks like it was a bit of a desperation Dragon to see if they can sort of get him off the point. And it looks like they use the Diva Bomb here to finish them off. 54% is what they give up, and now it'll be Powerhouse's turn to see if they can sort of take this back.
Yeah, more of re-meching there with his bomb, making sure he gets back into mech there. But really, the big thing there was Zoros getting taken out really early on by Jersey. By doing that, they really opened up the point. They allowed themselves to have a better positioning. Tyler was just sitting there wailing away, no worry about the other Widowmaker there. And now Zoros is going to have to find a place to get in, and that just wasn't it right there.
Yeah, Tyler doing great work. Those early picks are really messing up Powerhouse's mojo as they're trying to come in. Zoros does get res, so they do have, looks like they are still short, excuse me. They lost a Hanzo too early on the fight, so a full reset here coming in from Powerhouse. So they're going to have to wait this out just a little bit as Haplo actually loses his bongo. I guess he had popped it there in the doorway, trying to sort of keep Powerhouse at bay, but now it looks like Powerhouse has the advantage as Zoros takes out Schwinn, and that is a huge pick here. I think this is going to be a pretty easy take for Powerhouse as they come through. It looks like Horizon here is going to back off as much as they can. They're going to give this up for free. Those 2 early picks really cost them.
This is not a map really where Orisa can hold forward very well. It's one of those tricky ones because you're only running a single healer here. So as you take that flak damage, as soon as that Orisa shield's gone, you just gotta bail out as quickly as you can. They did not bail out fast enough. Zoros was able to take advantage of that, take out Schwinn, and basically just also take out Morbid's mag. Now the advantage is definitely on the defense. They're sitting with so many ults. I would expect to see a pretty quick win from them.
Yeah, and that dragon is designed to sort of make sure the team sort of splits back, but another counter dragon here coming in also trying to do something. It looks like the Diva Bomb got hooked up onto the stairs and is able to take out Haplo, so big kill there, and it looks like that, but it looks like the advantage here is with Horizon as they're up 1 here as it looks like Powerhouse has gotten split up a little bit. 1600 is the only one left on point as the fight was sort of taken to the Widow here, and they were focusing on the Widow, but now at 99 here, Powerhouse here has got to sort of hold off and make sure that they can keep this. They do. They get kills from Legend and from Zoros, and that is probably going to do it. Horizon Apex go down to Powerhouse here on Nepal.
Wow, what a great play by Tyler there to try to open up that point, get the Widow picks on there. Unfortunately, they recognized that. Powerhouse recognized that and sent Diva off to take care of him. Unfortunately, Team Apex didn't realize that Powerhouse had their own Widow and Hanzo just kind of free-firing onto the point, and that's what DPS do. They power in damage there, and if they don't have pressure on them, they're just going to take you down. So now as we move on to the next next map here, again, it's going to be another battle on this map of Widows and Hanzos. You know, this is just a popular map for Widow, especially on the first point here. And so I expect Tyler and Zoros to have a little bit more time dueling one another, whereas in the last map, they didn't really have much line of sight to one another.
Yeah, and the thing about it is Powerhouse has been really, really good at trying to take Tyler out and focusing him down, because the counter pressure that's coming is sort of non-existent from Horizon. They haven't been able to push on Zoros. The way that Zoros has been dying predominantly is if Tyler has been getting the initial pick. So maybe we'll see some strategy changes coming up from Horizon here. Maybe they'll push on Zoros a little bit more if Tyler does get sort of picked off clean by Zoros, because to me it seems like Zoros has been winning the fight a little more than Tyler has been sort of picking Zoros off. So it'll be interesting to see what they do. And initial comps to me say I think they're just messing with us now, because I really don't see a tank here on the side of Powerhouse. So like this is the old caster okie doke, as they say. As soon as I say something, they're immediately going to switch. But here comes Mythos here on the Orisa. So it looks like there might be sort of using the Orisa here to push initially. You'll see Horizon sort of pack themselves up here in the upper edge and sort of get some initial pressure here. They're going with a Winston tank to start off with, so I think they're going to value a little bit more ability here. So Mythos changes off. Maybe they saw something out of the window here to make sure, with 5 seconds here left. So it looks like Tyler's going to position himself in the back corner, and they're going to put the front in the front, and Jersey's going to try to get a lot of initial poke here. So everybody comes from the outside, and now the engage starts, and it looks like all of them have just started the fight here on the bridge. Jersey's got to be super careful here. He doesn't get picked off. Tyler gets the first pick here on Zoros, so that's what they were looking for. Tyler gets Zoros down, but that payload is now moving, and now they're going to realize where Tyler is going to be coming from. They're going to call that out. So it's still just basically poke here going on, but the Legend loses his mech as well as Nif going down. Tyler actually showing up here on this point big time here as he's actually pushed Powerhouse back, and they're going to need to reset a little bit here and wait for their cohorts to come back.
Yeah, Legend's going to have to run back and remech here, which means he's going to lose all his ult charge, but he didn't have much to begin with. See him there, remeching on the top right of your screen. But now, you know, it really was just up to Tyler there, right? He got a really good early pick there on Zoro, and then the team pushed in, and that was another important thing. Getting the D-Mech there pushed them back, and now look at that, Tyler opens up again with a pick.
Yeah, but Mythos got a bigger pick when he took out Schwinn, so therefore that's a 1-for-1 trade, but it's not an even 1-for-1, and now the Legend going to town here, got back in the mech, takes out 2. As he's fighting in the background, I think he's got a little too much that he can chew here in the back, but this fight, I think, was strictly in the advantage here of Powerhouse. They're going to get some free push here going forward. They're going to get to the corner and going to make some space for themselves here. They're going to try to keep sort of Horizon Apex here, sort of back behind the doorway and not trying to let him in. And it looks like here Haplo coming in with the Winston ult here, trying to sort of get to the back line, sort of cause some solve some havoc here. And Haplo actually takes out Zoros, which is a huge pick here, just to sort of start off with, as now they're sort of fighting right on the point. And looks like a Dragon Blade comes out and a bomb here into the back. Bomb does nothing. Nif gets two. So the good trade-off there, they make him use an ult as they use their ult of their own and get 2 kills. Brett here is the only one left here on the point. They're gonna have to give this up unless Haplo decides he wants to sort of jump in. He's going to try, but it's really one versus the world here. As he gets taken out, he's going to get the long spawn. They're going to be missing out a tank, and this is where Powerhouse is going to try to push up. They're going to try to see if they can get any advantage if they can, or they're going to try to position themselves. But Tyler still being big there. Zoros getting nothing here on this point. As Tyler, it's been the Tyler show on Widow, and it looks like a Diva Bomb here gets sent into the back. And finally, it doesn't really get anyone, but it looks like Powerhouse here has the real advantage here on top of the spaceship as they're pushing through. Tyler gets picked off by Mythos, so that threat has been nullified here with Zoros also taking out Shunjae. This has not been a good point beat here for Apex as they're getting pushed back due to the aggression here from Powerhouse, but it looks like Haplo was able to demech the Legend, but they're still in deep trouble here as Haplo is the only one left here on the point. He might get staggered. He does. They're going to end up giving up point B for free as Nif goes to town. Down he goes, but Zoros with 2 more picks. Point B has just been collapsed on by Powerhouse here, and there are players from Horizon just scattered all over the field still. They haven't been able to reset clean as Powerhouse just powered through point B.
Well, that's the classic push forward and get the people who are split up and not regrouping there from Apex. You know, Apex just needed to back off a little bit further, stand in, spawn, and wait to get that second pick there. And now they're going to have to contend against a mass amount of ultimates again. So they do have the Zenyatta ult to stop this Dragon Blade, however. That might be what they need to turn this around at this point.
Yeah, and it looks like they're trying to put Zoros in the position, and Zoros actually gets in the position, but they're going to be very, very aggressive here as Haplo is chasing Zoros around the mountain, so that is going to be their priority. They want to make sure that it looks like Zoros does not get into the Widow position, which is at the top behind where the payload is now. A Diva Bomb gets sent in here, just sort of cleared some people out. Oh, and Brad with a huge 3K in the back! That's going to stop the push from Powerhouse here. They're not going to be able to do anything. Brad with a epic bomb there, and now they're going to have to reset.
Yeah, nothing doing there on that push. Nif, though, is in a great position to take care of that Diva after she popped her bomb. Did take her out, but, you know, it's too little too late. You always got to watch your positioning for those Diva bombs. And now the offense is looking like they're short a couple ults at this point. Defense, on the other hand, has this Dragon Blade, so they're going to be able to take out these guys with no problem. Just got to find their path in there.
Yeah, and then the fight here is actually going to be focused here up on the ledge because this is a key position that they need to control and not let Powerhouse have, because they can't just let Zoros up there and just pick off your team left and right. Zoros, though, does get a pick on the ground, and he gets more, and that's going to be a huge pick for them, but he gets immediately res here. Shunjae realizing what is going on there, so it looks like a blade has been popped here into the back. It looks like there's no kills though, as Nif just trying to get Morbid again here in the back, and a Diva Bomb actually gets sent into the back, trying to make space, but it looks like the fight is still going on. Another Diva Bomb here being sent into the back of Powerhouse, but no, doesn't get anything. Now the fight is now focused here on the payload. Haplo and Bread actually are trying to hold the payload as best they can, just the 2 of them, but Bread looks like he's going to get taken out and killed. So now it looks like Zoros has the excellent positioning. It's just a matter of time here. Mythos needs to make sure that he can block that doorway, not let anybody out. This payload is moving, and there's plenty of time left. 2:30 here left on the clock. Haplo comes in from the alternate entrance, trying to sort of get Powerhouse off the point. And now it looks like a DMEC here as the Legend gets taken out right away. Dersey here trying to protect with the Dragon Blade, and he does get 2. So therefore, that's going to do it for him. Tyler gets Ike, and therefore they're going to have to back up. Zoros is a sitting duck there as Haplo jumps on him. They're able to defend onto the point, and another reset coming here for Powerhouse.
Absolutely, and now both teams somewhat evened out on ultimates here. Mythos' ult probably not that useful going into this next push here. Maybe would be able to take out the Mercy or maybe get Tyler out of there, but now that they don't have the Zenyatta, they switch to this Brigida. That does mean that the Dragon Blade from Nif is going to be very powerful, so now it's time to sit on that, Try to figure out when you can get that in there, find that Brigida in the back, and take her out really early, or find the Mercy even. A lot of different options there for him.
Yeah, and the thing about it is they're not going to have a res going into this fight, as Zoros was taken out and had to be rezzed here. Now, they're trying to take the upper position here again. They know how priority is, and Haplo is right up there, sort of stalling it, and Key doing his best to get up. And Nifnif gets taken out here by Bread, so a good DPS pick here. And Mythos now goes down, so losing your frontline tanks. The reset here, again, coming in from Powerhouse. Now they've been able to sort of whittle down the time Apex has, and now there's only a minute left as they sort of wait to come in. And now it's getting a little sketchy here for Powerhouse. They're going to need to be able to sort of push in fairly quickly because they're not going to have very many pushes left. Haplo positioning himself, trying to position himself to make sure that when Zoros comes up, he's immediately on him. They know where he is. But now here comes Nifnif here with the blade, trying to do anything they can into the back. He does take out Bread, as Bread sent a bomb to take out 6 feet under, and now it's going to be a big sort of just brawl here onto at the end of the point, and Legend pops the Diva Bomb here, but that gets immediately shielded. So therefore, a great shield there by Haplo onto the bomb, and it looks like they're able to hold here. Horizon not giving up any more push onto this payload as Dersey comes out with the blade, taking out his counterpart. And looks like here, Zoros here got in position, and they're going to have to defend for 14 more seconds. Mythos does take out Morbid, so now this is going to be it. So Haplo dives into the back to try to take out that Widow, and Schwinn pops the Valkyrie. Looks like here with the wings, they're going to try to sort of hold up here onto the point. 2 seconds left. They're going to have to touch to start overtime. Overtime it is. They burned off all of that time, and the Legend gets actually demexed again, and Tyler with the big pick and a Diva Bomb here into the back does take out Ike. Oh no, it's gone horribly wrong here for Powerhouse on point C after it looked so good for them. Zoros not going to be able to do anything from back there, and that's going to do it. They do not cap point C, but what a great hold there by Horizon Apex.
Very interesting play there by the offense. The Genji actually plopped the blade and kind of went for Winston of all things. He did manage to find a kill, finding something there, but it just wasn't enough. He basically just decided to avoid the supports, maybe playing a little too scared of Brigida. And that kind of collapsed that push because Dersey was able to build his Dragon Blade and then just counteract that. Another interesting play that happened there was Mythos was actually able to knock Schwinn out of resurrection space. That made that fight actually winnable for the Powerhouse team. They just weren't able to capitalize enough on it, really just not able to put off the damage that they needed with their composition.
Yeah, and that was the sort of problem that they were going in. They were going to rely on Zoros that entire fight, and it looks like now they're able to sort of. It looks like Apex was able to sort of put that pressure on Zoros, so he wasn't able to get. She wasn't able to get like clean kills here because we were running sort of that heavier comp, and they didn't have the DPS on the ground to win a fight straight up without Zoros's help. And that really sort of played into the way that sort of Horizon was sort of defending that. They knew if they could sort of counter and go in there and make sure that they nullified that they were going to win a lot of the ground fights, and they absolutely did. As now they're getting ready here to sort of push out on their offensive push. And it looks like here not really that many surprises. It looks like Haplo might be starting off here with the Orisa, and this is their sort of favored pick, right? I mean, they like going with the Orisa here on their comps and running something a little bit unusual at the beginning here of Gibraltar.
Yeah, this is definitely an interesting comp. I'm interested to see if they actually do run this Torb out the door. It does look like they're considering it. No, he's going back in. Okay, but it'd be very interesting to see that. It'd actually be pretty heavily countered by what the defense has here. But as they push in, you'll just notice that they are running this Widow Hanzo combination, and they are running the Tracer. Now, this is an option that they decided that they really liked here, is running Tracer instead of Roadhog, which is the more typical solo heal comp.
So that Tracer is going to be able to do some picking off into the back, maybe some flanking here. But it looks like they're not going to put up such a stout defense here on the first corner, opting to sort of get through the car wash and defend after the car wash here as they sort of push in. But now it looks like here they're going to get him here right onto the ground as the fight sort of starts. Tyler does get Ike out, and that is huge. So they lose the Mercy right away. So they are 6v5 here, and now Nifnif goes down too. So now this big push here from Apex as they're starting coming in, and Tyler taking out Zoros. This defense has just collapsed here for Powerhouse. Legend is going to have to run, and I think they're just going to give it up because there's just nothing they can do about it. They're going to need to sort of reset and set up for point B defense here, as it looks like Bread and And it looks like might be Jersey actually trying to sort of push on as best as they can, but Zoros gets picked off again. Tyler has just had his number on this point, and now with no Widow here up top, they're going to try to get a little bit more aggressive. It looks like Jersey here is just sort of waiting here at the door. They don't try to reclaim high ground here because it looks like now they do. It looks like Tyler has now moved on top of the spaceship here as they sort of trying to make space for themselves into this fight, and they're starting like little mini engages that are going on, and Nif actually takes out Tyler, which is a big pick. So now as the payload comes around here, they're going to get the payload into the position, but this is going to be the stallable position for here. But Morbid goes down, and by the Legend taking him out, and now Valkyrie gets popped by Schwinn J here, just trying to sort of keep the team up and sort of try to keep this push going, but I don't think that's going to happen here. Looks like the team is starting to sort of collapse back a little bit. That fight is still going on though, as Niftif gets picked off, and maybe that's the pick that they were looking for. Looks like it, because I think they've got the go order as they've gone right to the payload here and trying to push back as they're going to try to push through. Tyler gets another pick here on Zoros as they're pushing through, and they're pushing Powerhouse really far back. Mythos trying to make some space here, and a Diva Bomb gets past the shield and takes out Jersey and Twin J, so 2 go down, and this is going to have to be a reset here for Apex. They did not expect those 2 kills coming in from Powerhouse.
This is the power of the regroup here. This is what Apex kind of missed out on point 2. They pushed forward, and they had 6 people to absorb the few people that were pushed forward, while a couple people were stuck on the payload there. So now Powerhouse has this advantage where they're going to have a longer defense on point 2, and if their defense is just as solid on point 3, they might actually have a chance to win this one here.
Yeah, I mean, that's going to be absolutely fantastic here. They're looking pretty good, set up in probably the positions that you want them to be in. It looks like they do have a little bit of a high ground advantage, but Tyler getting another big pick here along with Jersey, so they get the pick that they want. Down goes the Mercy and the Genji, so that's a lot of healing that goes down, and it looks like Powerhouse here is just going to give it up. They're not going to be able to get back into position, but no! It looks like 6 feet under is going to come in with the Transcendence, and they're going to try to hold this. It looks like a blade coming out by Nifnif here will take Schwinn J out again, and Nifnif getting another big pick here on Morbid here into the back. So this might be the hole that they were looking for. Haplo trying his best to sort of win this fight, but it looks like the spawn advantage here on the defense might actually save them as streaming in here, stalling Horizon on their push as best as they can. Nifnif getting pocketed, but that's not going to do it. They finally capture point B. Yes, they do, and they're going to push in. There are going to be a couple late spawns here from Powerhouse. This is not going to be good. Legend's going to try to just come off and fall off the cliff here, kill himself down, and they don't want to make sure they give any more sort of ult charge here back to Horizon.
Absolutely, and that was good. That was actually a pretty good stall by them. Not only because they were able to stall for just the length of time they did, but they actually pulled most of the ultimates from the offense here. Really, they're only looking at sitting on this Orisa ult, which is going to be a little bit dicey here on this next point, and their Hanzo ult, which is just coming up. And so now the defense got this Mercy ult, which I think is a way better thing. Also, Nif, keep in mind, there is no Zenyatta here to counter his Dragon Blade. So every time he gets one of those, that's almost a guaranteed wipe for his team.
Yeah, and it looks like here they've actually gotten the payload all the way up to the second corner here as they sort of come through. And they are pushing on here. Jersey gets rezzed as he was taken out a little early, and now it looks like it was a Dragon here just trying to sort of separate the team into the back. Didn't really get anyone, and Tyler gets another big pick on Zoros here. The big takeout here is the D-Mech of Legend. He gets taken out, and like Horizon are just pushing through now. It looks like they're able to sort of do enough damage here to sort of keep Powerhouse pushing back. Looks like Mythos here trying his best to sort of move them off the payload and buy his team a little bit of extra time. It looks like a Diva Bomb comes in, but Morbid with some big kills here does get the Pulse Bomb onto Ike, and now they're in full stall mode here. Morbid going crazy here with the Tracer. And it looks like another Transcendence here by 6 feet under. This is purely to stall. Nif trying his best to sort of get anybody he can. And now a Dragon coming into the doorway here. So it's a little speculative here, but it looks like Ike is a sitting duck for the rest of the team. He's going to get taken out. Now they've gone to the Doomfist, as the Doomfist here trying to sort of stall, but kills just coming up all Horizon, and they do cap the point. There was just nothing they could do. Apex Horizon take Gibraltar.
Yeah, Powerhouse looked like they were having a little bit of trouble with Morbid's Tracer there. They had it on point 1 as well. They actually turned 3 of their team members around to try to kill the Tracer, while the rest of their team got blown away by the other 5 members of Apex. And on on that third point, I mean, Morbid was just kind of in the back line taking care of business. So a very interesting composition there. It's definitely not one we see too typically. Again, usually you see the Roadhog in that position. So they've definitely found a way to adapt to their particular group of players. It's very cool to see that. And I'm wondering, because this map does typically have that Orisa Diva on the defense, I'm wondering if we're going to see the Tracer or if we're going to see the Zenyatta from Apex.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what they sort of pull out. It looks like here the way that they've sort of structured their team, that they want to play to their players' strengths here. So maybe something a little different here coming out from Horizon. Hopefully, we'll see something interesting. So looks like here I see a Doomfist on offense, but for Apex here, it looks like they're going to be is Bread going to be coming out with the Symmetra? Is that what they're going to be doing here? Yes. So yes, they're going to come out here with the sim here on defense, and now look, the teleport is actually to move the team out, and they're going to switch Bread, and Bread was only there just to sort of teleport the team to the high ground, as he's going to go back here and switch, and Schwinn is going to be ferrying the team over. So now it looks like here Dread goes back to the Diva, and they're going to position themselves on the high ground here with the Orisa Diva here. So they're going to sort of ball it up here, up at the top, and sort of try to make sure that they don't get picked at the top here. I've seen this is a good strategy here, I think, by Horizon on defense, and on offense here. It looks like we got some switches coming in, as it looks like Mythos will be going to his Winston, and it looks like they're going a little divey here with Nif Nif, the legend, and yeah, that's what they're going to do. They're
Yeah,
going to try
this
to.
is looking like a pretty much a dive here. And at this point, I think that the defense is in a position to kind of absorb that dive. Morbid being on this high ground means that the Winston Diva have to use some kind of movement abilities to get up to him. And that is key, being in a position where you can absorb the leaps and then they can't escape when the team turns on them.
That's exactly right. And now it looks like they're just sort of playing hide and seek here on the side, as they're trying to make sure. And here comes the dive here, and they try to sort of move them off, and they actually get Swin J on that dive. So that a very important kill there, as they lose their mercy here on the initial push. But it looks like it was 3 for 1, as it looks like the Apex team was able to kill most of the divers coming in, but they are on the point here. That's just going to be just a delay a little bit. But the Mercy's going to take a little time here to come back. So a bit of an advantage here. So maybe see if Powerhouse can sort of take advantage here while the Mercy is trying to sort of respawn. But it looks like Powerhouse
Yeah,
here
I
has to
think
sort
that
of.
they are going to take a little bit of advantage of this, but the Mercy is back actually relatively quickly. The good thing there was the Diva got demacked really early on, so they were able to stall her out long enough to give their Mercy time to get back. So that was pretty key there. Again, they're in this position where they can still absorb it, and they don't have the sim still. So as soon as they can dislodge Morbid from up top here, and maybe Haplo as well, that's when they'll start seeing a little bit more success.
Yeah. And it looks like here they're going to try to sort of stall them out and make sure they got to get this right. So here comes the dive in here as they sort of jump in, and it's going to be that shield is there, and Transcendence gets popped early here by Morbid, and he's going to be able to keep his entire team up. The Legend got demeched again, but it looks like here the Winston ult was able to sort of dislodge Haplo here, so no more Orisa here up onto the top, and now they're going to have to defend here on the ground. Nif Nif is super low, as Blade's about to come up, and a Dragon, it looks like, comes out from Dursey, finishes off the Legend, who was demeched, but also takes out Ike. So that is a huge kill here, as it looks like Powerhouse here going to have to reset again. Tyler getting 2 more kills here on the way out, and now they're going to have to they can maybe change it up a little bit, since now Haplo is now on the second Legend, not on the.
Yeah, now that they're on the ledge, they do have a little bit of an advantage here with the dive. Now they don't really have to use their abilities, their movement abilities to get up there. And even if they do, a Nif Nif sitting on this Dragon Blade, Morbid having to use that Transcendence early on actually puts them in a great advantage here. If they can get him in there, keep him protected, they're going to take out the whole back line.
Yeah, and it looks like a Dragon Blade here comes out from Nif Nif, as he's trying to sort of get in there into the back and do something, but he gets taken out there by Tyler. Oh, goodness me. So that is a big pick. They lose the ult, and they lose the Genji in the place, and now Dursey takes Mythos out, and they're going to have to go back to square one again. No main tank, no diving here for Powerhouse, as time is starting to tick down. There's only about a minute 9 here left on the clock, but they're still going at it, and they're going to keep trying the strategy.
Yeah, absolutely. It's definitely still the right call, I think, at this point to try to do a dive. They just got to execute a little bit better. Right there, they kind of played too scared, and Nif Nif went in basically by himself. They definitely could have gone in much more deep with that play.
Yeah, and it looks like here they're going to try to do it using the Transcendence here, trying to sort of use that and maybe force the advantage here onto Apex, as it looks like here they finally were able to sort of dislodge them and move them back, but the Legend here got demech'd, but is going to use the bomb to get right back into the mech here, as no players go down, and it looks like Zoros is the first person taken out, so they lose their sort of Widow cover here into the back, so Tyler with a big pick, and now looks like trades left and right. It looks like it's like 4 for 2 here going for the teams, as now Brett takes out Nif Nif, and it is still advantage Horizon. Mythos here trying to do as best as he can. 14 seconds. He needed to sort of die quickly here. I don't know if they're going to have time to get back onto the point.
Oh, they're definitely not going to have too much time here. If they do get on the point, they're going to fight a team without supports, however, that are just kind of rolling in at this point. Actually, just being able to get there. But yeah, they didn't quite make it. So what's the play of the game here? The real victory for this defense was Schwinn Morbid healing combo. Unbelievably able to keep themselves up through the dive that was definitely focused on them. Definitely able to do that. And remember, folks, if you're just watching this at home, you might have seen the map reset there. That means they are on a scrim here. This isn't a tournament style play. So rather than just having the one tick to go, they're going to go ahead and play this out as though they're going to have to take all of point 2 as well, just part of the game. But anyway, the healer combo is what I'm looking at here. If they keep themselves up like that through that dive, that's just either great peel from their other team members or just great healing focus from them.
Yeah, it was absolutely fantastic. They were also target focusing the Legend too, as on that dive, and Legend would go in there with Mythos and try to sort of move them off, and they were able to sort of demech the Legend a couple times on that dive, which without that defense matrix, Mythos there was just unable to sort of sit up there for very long, and that pick was sort of big by demeching the Legend out of that dive, and you just saw that doing really well, and that dive and the healing from Apex was actually excellent, as you had said. So now it looks like it'll be Apex's turn here on offense. So it looks like Haplo is going to the Winston too. So they're going to try it themselves here with Morbid on the Tracer here. So I'm wondering what they're going to do a little different. And looks like Powerhouse here now in blue. Going to set up a little bit of a different defense. They stay with the Winston, no Orisa for them, and they're going to defend a little higher up.
This defense is interesting because this is a dive defense on point A Anubis, which is typically not the case. You usually, as you said, you see the Orisa on here. Mm-hmm. So the disadvantage of running this particular comp is that in a mirror match, which you often see the double dive, you tend to lose your tanks and lose team members a little bit on par, about evenly, whereas the Orisa sometimes keeps people alive a little bit longer. And you have much longer run back, so you favor the offense on even trades.
Yeah, you absolutely do here. So a little risky strategy here coming out from Powerhouse, but I think they might have a little bit more sort of confidence in their dive, is what they were probably thinking to themselves here. But you're right here, they're going to need to get more picks than Apex here coming through. They can't lose more than 2 or that defense is going to fall apart. But it looks like Apex have just sort of gone straight to the point here, trying to sort of dislodge what's going on here. But Haplo goes down. But they lose Mythos here, so that's a big pick, as Haplo gets rezzed right away. So this looks like it's going to be Apex going to take the advantage here, and they're going to get the kills that they need. This is going to be a fairly easy take here for Apex as they come through. And yeah, that was fairly effortlessly from Apex. That dive defense just did not work.
Yeah, it definitely didn't. And what was interesting there is Jersey on this Sombra. And again, this is just something we don't usually see. But what he did was he hacked the bottom pack, gave himself a little bit of extra healing there, was able to kind of touch the point, which forced the defense to play a little bit back further, and then was able to actually help when the dive came in and be in position, ready to go. It's just the advantage of the new Sombra changes, where she has infinite stealth. Good job on their part for definitely coming up with what I would say is a very interesting strategy.
Yeah, good stuff there. And Tyler gets a big pick here on Zoros. So therefore, there's the Widow duel is won by Tyler here on the offense. But Nif Nif focused Tyler, solo ulting Tyler out of the game. So therefore, it looks like here they lose the Widow, and they want to keep the Widow up. So they've stalled their push just a little bit here. As the spawn advantage here with the defense, as it looks like here the Legend gets taken out, and now they're on point. They're getting a lot of percentage here as Haplo takes out 6 feet under with that ult, trying to sort of zone out the team as best they can. Nif Nif gets back onto the point now with Valking It looks like Valking Ike here trying to keep him up as best as they can. It looks like there's already 86% here onto the point as the team is sort of trying to come around, but Schwinn goes down, and that is the pick that they were looking for. Now they're coming in hot and fast, and now looks like here Powerhouse was able to sort of reset, but they do give up about 87% here on point B.
Yeah, that was good. Good job, Nifty, for reading the situation there. Schwinn's is the solo healer on this offense, and having a solo healer, oh, that's a good opening pick there. That's gonna stop this offense. But having this initial like solo healer here means that the sustain once you recap the point is not very high. So they definitely took advantage of that. Nif getting a couple kills that he needed to stabilize the point. But look at this. There's so little. There's one tick left.
Yeah, there's still like just one tick left, and they're gonna push in on them, and they back themselves into a little bit of a corner, and then comes in the Sombra. Here comes the Sombra ult there, just to sort of nullify everybody here. They're slowly ticking up. It's now at 92%. They do get the kills they need to sort of defend, but slowly but surely, they're getting a little bit more percentage tick here onto the point. That was a failed push, and they sort of ulted themselves out. They were sort of banking on that Sombra ult, trying to do something, but it didn't actually happen.
Yeah, at this point, they might stick on the Sombra just to... Oh, they're sitting in the spawn here. That looks like they're going to be making a few swaps here. But I was going to say, they might choose to switch to the Sombra there. But look, they all counted down and switched at the same time, so there'll be less time for this defense to prepare. They're running straight goats here. It's going to be quick.
Yeah, it's going to be quick. They're going to power themselves onto the point. They know they really only need a tick, so they're just going to try to overpower Powerhouse here as they sort of come in. And here they come. Looks like Nif though was able to catch Morbid on the dive in and takes Tyler out too. So two big kills here by Nif on with the blade. So the Goats comp here not necessarily working here. They're going to outlast them as the Legend takes out Twin J. Down goes Haplo too, and it didn't work. They were ready for it, and that blade and kill here on the Moira initially on the initial engage was huge.
Yeah, that's an economy push right there. You know that the defense has all their ultimates up here, and so you push in there. You know, you just build ults, try not to get anything, try not to use any of your ults right away. It ends up being a bit of a success. If in the next push they can pull a couple more ultimates, then I would say that this comp might be a successful change. But look at Nif. Switches to that Pharah. That is a huge counter to this comp.
Yeah, it's a huge counter here, and it looks like they're going to start off with a bomb here, trying to sort of dislodge people. Doesn't get anybody, and now they rush right back here onto the point. The percentage point ticked up super quickly as Mythos takes out Morbid again. So Morbid goes down again here on this push, and they're getting the kills that they need. Nif takes out Haplo. They're down again here on this push with 3 minutes counting down still, and they still haven't figured it out yet. They're getting 1-2 initial kills, but they're getting sort of trapped in there, and they're getting killed. And just the Ghost comp not necessarily working, and now Haplo looking like he's going to switch back to Winston.
Yeah, you know, honestly, the GOAT comp would have been good after a couple ultimates got used. I think they're realizing it. I'm now realizing it. You know, that would have been a good selection had there not been a bunch of ults to counter that. So maybe on the first push, but now, you know, they're gonna have to switch back to this dive to try to deal with this this Pharah here.
Yeah, absolutely, and it looks like they do get a good initial cure here on the Zoros. The res was used initially beforehand, so now they're going to be down a res and they're down a man, but they do have that spawn advantage as they're trying to sort of push in. Looks like Nif got taken out here, so therefore they lose a healer, and Tyler goes down, so they lose their Widow as they're sort of coming in. Dursey gets taken out too, and this push is getting stalled out again. So it looks like the ult here from Haplo here, just trying to sort of clear out the area and make sure that they send them back packing again, and Haplo gets taken out, and another failed push here coming in from Apex.
Yeah, 6 feet under and Ike still sitting on ultimates. They've been sitting on those ultimates since the Goats comp came out, so pretty effective defense here on their part. But again, they are building the ultimates here. They are going to get that Genji ult, maybe pop up a few things. But they can't seem to sustain their picks and sustain their damage.
Yeah, and that's exactly what's going on. Jersey does take out Zoros here initially on the take, and now comes out the Transcendence here. 6 feet Hunter is basically just trying to sort of stall out this push. But now it looks like Apex here getting some kills. Diva Bomb here onto the point. A little bit of trying to see if they can get Apex off the point. Nothing doing here as Jersey's Blade takes out the Legend, and they're getting the kills they need. Ike gets the res onto the Legend, but will they be able to sort of stall this out? Kills coming in on the side of Apex as they're trying to sort of clear him out and get this final 8%. looks like here they pushed them all the way back into the corner here as they were trying to sort of focus off. Nif goes down, and now it's full stall mode here. They do get Haplo and Xun Jie, and this push is over. So now it's just going to be a matter of just clearing Horizon back off the point as this defense is bending but not breaking here for Powerhouse.
Ike never died there, Hodori. Never died. Stayed alive the entire time. That Mercy healing just kept them alive. And, you know, we usually don't get to call out a whole lot of great Mercy plays. Because, again, Mercy doing her job. If you do your job right, no one will even know you're doing it at all. That's what Mercies do a lot of times. But this Mercy, this is above and beyond exceptional play there. And now, look, they've got full armor. They've got defensive ult coming up here at this point. I don't know if the offense is going to be able to take this.
Yeah, they'll need help from the DPS here. Jersey's got to come up huge to help finish off this point. He's got the blade ready, and Bread might be useful here to sort of distract them and get them right off the point where they need. But it looks like he has to pop his bomb a little early as he got focused on. But kills being traded here on both sides, and Ike gets a res here back onto the Legend, who comes in through. So, but the kills have been coming in for Powerhouse, and it looks like a transcendence here by Morbid to just sort of stall them out as best as they can to try to keep them going. As Haplo tries to use his Winston ult here, tried to sort of move off Powerhouse here off the point. Zoros gets 2 big kills here as overtime ticks down. They only give up 92%. They don't give up the cap here to Apex on Temple of Anubis, and I think that's a good job done here by Powerhouse.
Yeah, definitely both teams playing a much stronger defense than they did offenses on this point. And I think that might be something that they take back from this scrim and work to improve on there. Getting a little bit better coordination on the cleanups and getting a little bit better coordination on maybe some ult economy usage things, making sure that they don't end up with, you know, 3 ults, 1 push, 3 ults, a different push, trying to build up to 6 or appropriately using them to close out points. I think that was where I think most of the issues are coming here. But on King's Row, that's definitely going to change things up a little bit in terms of these compositions. We'll see a little less dive in this case, and maybe the favored comp of this Powerhouse team, which is the Bastion Symmetra comp.
That sounds like a very delicious comp, very different, because a Bastion Symmetra comp is not something that teams are sort of used to seeing. You don't necessarily see that on a regular basis. So very, very different here as teams are going to be setting up here on defense here. Now, it will be Powerhouse here in blue. So the Legend will keep coming out, but it looks like here they're going to go with, it looks like a Torbjorn here. So it looks like Ike here coming out on the Torb, or just sort of maybe messing around here, just trying to mess with us here on the casting
definitely
team.
Just messing around.
Yeah, he's absolutely messing around.
He's almost certainly going to go to Mercy there, as he was the Mercy extraordinaire from last push that kept them alive and not losing both ticks on that last map. So that was a good job on his part here. I wouldn't want to switch him off of that. The triple tank here, though, on this defense is a little bit interesting. Usually you run the Orisa. Okay, there it is. Yeah, usually I was going to say you run the Orisa with this particular triple tank comp. And the reason is, once Reinhardt's shield goes down, you run out of shield for a little while. There's a big amount of downtime. When Orisa's shields goes down, there's already a recharge happening. Her recharge happens during her other shield. So in this case, you know, that's the kind of thing you want to run here. You leave your tanks exposed in that way. With this, you allow yourself to run this Mercy solo healer.
Yeah, absolutely, and it'll be another fight we're going to be looking forward to, is another Tyler Zoros head-to-head here. So it'll be super important here who gets like the first pick on the Widow to see what is going to be happening here on the point, as they're sort of dueling each other off here right by the statue, trying to make sure that they get anything they can. But Durzy actually takes Zoros out, so that might be the go with regards to making sure that they get here on the point. And it looks like Apex here trying to sort of push in, but Nif gets a big kill here on Durzy with a Sonic Arrow. So unusual kill there. So 6 feet under takes Morbid out. So DPS goes down here for the offense. It looks like they're going with this triple sort of DPS comp, trying to sort of push in with Xun Jie trying to sort of solo kill as it's up, but it didn't sort of work on this initial push. Durzy though takes out Nif as the fight sort of keeps going on. They're going to use that to their advantage here, and they're going to try to sort of push in right away. Maybe take a little bit of advantage of that whole. It looks like Haplo got hooked in and didn't get taken out, so looks like he was able to sort of survive it, as they still are poking here on the left, right by the hotel. And it looks like here Powerhouse are going to try to sort of back up here and make sure that they sort of get out of sight. They don't want to get picked off at all here by Tyler, so they're going to try to see if They're going to try to deal that. Dragon comes through into the hotel, trying to deal with what's going on. Bread and the Legend get demeched at the same time, so both Divas going down. Zoros does get the pick on Schwinn J, and that is going to actually going to stop this push cold. But it looks like the advantage here. They're going to get some late picks here, and Bread is demeched and killed, and that's going to do it for that push.
I mean, really, Morbid is where it came down to there. Morbid just wasn't as effective as in the previous couple maps on this Tracer. Was in the backline, but not really finding any inroads to get any sort of damage onto this tank comp, this big bunker comp here. So in this next push, I would say that he's got to get it land a pretty good bomb. He did build his ultimate at least. That will be the advantage they need.
Yeah, here comes the Dragon here coming from Powerhouse on defense here, but Tyler gets the best of Zoros here, so they get that initial pick. So it's going to be go time here in a second for Apex as they do take out Mythos' Bongo, so that isn't all wasted. Diva Bomb here comes into the back to see if they can get anybody. They only get the Bongo here, but they get positioning, and that's what they wanted. They make space for themselves as the Diva Bomb comes in here from Powerhouse. Ooh, that comes in and only takes out Haplo's Bongo also. So now they've got the advantage here as it picks up. And now the kills, though, were I thought in the advantage here of Powerhouse, but they do give up the point. So now it looks like here Apex here gets the point, and now they're going to sort of tick back, and back goes Powerhouse onto the reset here, and it looks like here they're going to try to get regressive and try to catch him here by point B, but that's probably not going to happen.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen. And well, let's talk a little bit about that push there though before we go too far. And this is definitely a positioning thing where they threw that Diva Bomb and were able to get their faces on the point. And when it's an Orisa v Orisa battle, oftentimes the battle does not move. So as soon as you get on the point, you're pretty well good to go. One of the things though there that they did kind of whiff on though was throwing the Diva Bomb on the defense there. They definitely threw it a little bit too high. When the Orisa plants her shield, she can't plant it again for a while, and that Diva Bomb could have made the play.
Yeah. And it looks like the Pulse Bomb actually caught Nif, and then a res comes out here, so they burn the res coming out for Powerhouse here, so that might take an advantage. Looks like dueling dragons coming out as Dragon gets sent crosswise onto the point, though Nif it gets the better of that, actually takes out Jersey, and now Schwinn is going to have to burn her res to get Jersey back up. Tyler wins the Widow fight here, and it looks like they're going to keep pushing as Mythos here trying to sort of hold on as best as they can. Nif though takes Tyler out here on the defense, and now it looks like the advantage is theirs as the Legend here pushing in onto Apex as they're sort of pushing them back, and they're going to have to sort of fall back a little bit and wait for people to come back as Jersey gets taken out again here by Nif, and now they just don't have enough DPS to sort of push in as Mythos going super deep here, but has the support of the team as they sort of get all the way back to the first corner. And now they're going back up a little bit. They don't want to overextend. They want to make sure that they keep their advantage here as Apex here have to sort of get back together.
Yeah, they definitely came out on the losing end of that one. They gave a lot of ult charge up during that retreat. And it's all, that's when healing works a little bit against you there, don't worry. You sometimes want to just kind of die and get back and push again.
Yeah, exactly. And it looks like here, Nif though gets a big pick here on Morbid into the back, but Bread counters him and actually takes Nif out himself. But the res is still up for her for Powerhouse as they're able to get Nif back. And now this payload's moving slightly as Tyler actually does get a pick here, so now they have a little bit of advantage as they're pushing through. Mythos with a big Earth Shatter here catches Tyler in the back, but no kills coming out. Diva Bomb actually gets sent almost to the hallway with the subway entrance that didn't actually get taken out. Good Dragon there to separate out the team, and that finishes off Mythos here. So no main tank here for Powerhouse. That's going to be key. They're gonna looks like Ike was trying to go in for the res and he got moved away and was unable to get the res off. Jersey with 3 big picks here, and now it looks like Apex here are going to get point B. Good job by them finishing off the kills here at the end near the subway station.
Yeah, honestly, this defense could have possibly held that. They just kind of held on to their ults a little bit too long, not really able to find that Zarya-Hanzo ult combination they were looking for. And that might be because they were a little bit afraid of Bread getting the defense matrix on it, just because the way they were positioned. So now they still have that available, though. They might be able to hold off this point here with that combo.
Yeah, they're probably, there it is, and here comes the Graviton now. That Dragon comes in just a little bit later than probably what they wanted, but it's still as effective as it needed to be as 3 get taken out there by the Dragon. A reset going to come here super quickly here from Apex as they're going to have to back out. They got the ult that they needed right there, and what a great catch on the Graviton.
Yeah, that's going to pull the res, which is going to be a pretty good defensive play there for them. Since res is down now, this offense is going to have a little bit of trouble. Arista's a little bit weaker at this point, though, because oftentimes it's harder to push into this point. It's hard to get good angles and keep your shield up. So I'm surprised they're still sticking with that one, but it is the comp they said they were most comfortable on, especially with this Tracer. So I'd like to see once again how they pull that off.
Yeah, and that's going to be interesting how they're going to continue to do that. Zoros takes out 2 big picks and a big Earth Shatter there by Mythos as he goes deep and he takes and with the help of Legend takes out 3, and that is going to be a reset again here for Apex. They were just unable to sort of push in. They got stuck in the first corner and were just able to be held up there, and with the big picks there, it looks like they're by Zoros. They were able to sort of push in, finish off the kills as they come back again here for try number 3 going into point C. Is now Tyler, though, does get the initial kill on Zoros, so they don't have to worry about that Widow just right now. I don't think they're going to need to be able to use the red. Dragon comes in as the Transcendence comes in from 6 feet under, so decent counter there right at the same time, and now a Pulse Bomb gets stuck onto the Legend, who gets taken out eventually by Morbid, and now they're getting the kills they need. Tyler takes 6 feet out eventually, and it's in a bad position, neck deep in members of Apex, as now they're going to actually come around the second corner here, and they've got to be careful as they're going to be coming out. It's going to be time. They need to get a kill here as Brett is pushing out, trying to sort of make sure that they have enough space here to sort of win this final push. Zoros does take out Tyler, and Morbid, though, trade coming in as he takes out the 6 feet under as they're sort of coming in.
Oh, Eden.
Yeah, it was Eaton. I thought I heard the Graviton, but it didn't come out. The D.Va with a huge play here as Zoros takes out Schwing J, and that offense is going to get slowed off, and now kills coming in all on the side of Powerhouse as they're able to sort of push them off, and that does it. Overtime ticks down. They were only able to get it around the second corner here. Pretty good stout defense there on point C coming out from Powerhouse.
Yeah, and honestly, the big thing about that defense here is, again, they reset and switch sides. So both teams going to switch. We're going to see Powerhouse now on the opposite side. But, you know, what's interesting here is that the Orisa play there. And again, I think it just didn't work out too well for them. You leave a lot of space for your team to just kind of stand there, and that gives the Widowmaker on the defense just a lot of time to set up shots and set up plays there. And so the only time they're really able to make progress is if their Widow, the offensive Widow, was able to actually take out the defensive one. So you guys got to be careful with your composition. There are reasons why Reinhardt's typically run in that last part, or even Winston is run in that last point as opposed to Orisa.
Yeah, that mobility and the way the shields work in that final stage is very, very advantageous for a Reinhardt to come. So now here on defense, we'll get to see what Powerhouse do here on defense. And it looks like they're going with the Arya here on defense. So they're is that right? Is that what I'm seeing? No, it looks like Morbid here actually on defense. It looks like there was a quick reset here on the side. So they're going to go, excuse me, with the sort of the pulled pork, as they say. Apollo here on the Orisa with Bread here on the Roadhog, and on offense here. Looks like Ike will then switch to the Mercy at the very end. Not going to fall for that this time.
Yeah, he's not running into everyone. And
exactly.
This kind of defense is a little bit stronger against the Goats comp. They choose to run that into this, but they looks like they're running more of a double sniper, which the Junkrat can be a little bit exposed on, and even the Widowmaker can be, because they're going to be 2 people shooting at you instead of 1. So they're going to bunker up on the top here, try to prevent those line of sights for those double snipers.
That's exactly right here. So looks like here they've positioned themselves really, really well here up at the top. So it'll be a matter of, can you get me down? So they're going to have the shield up, and it looks like here, whoa, looks like Mythos got sent flying almost into the top there. Tyler does take out 6 defenders, so they do get the initial kill here on defense. But they are giving up some point percentages. They give up a tick for free as they still refuse to sort of come down. Now Morbid finally comes down here and tries to take on Mythos. He gets demeched right away. I think they were just a little late here coming down, as it looks like they're trying to sort of swing away. Mythos takes Haplo down too, so they lose another tank here as they're trying to sort of basically finish off the rest of Apex here as they sort of come through. Brett trying to sort of hold off as best he can. Jersey comes out with the Junkrat ult, does take out the Legend, but there was really nothing else that they can do. They're gonna have to burn the rest, but this is going to be a quick take here from Powerhouse.
Yeah, right click, Legend. Throw the Zarya bombs at the tire when it's right in front of you, not the left click there. Just a little advice from a simple Zenyatta player. But but in reality, there, You know, it's just that particular defensive comp was not the right pick, essentially. And so they got punished. But now they've got a chance to switch off here. They're onto this Reinhardt. It's going to help them out a little bit. This little bit of aggressive push is going to get pretty quickly repelled. They're going to have to wait for the rest of their players here. So now look at the offensive ults, though. They got a massive advantage with that because, again, they had to switch characters on the defense. They really need to push in here or they're only going to get one defense.
Yeah, I mean, that's really it. And a graviton, great grab from inside the building, catches everyone here onto the side. Ooh, a great team kill here from Powerhouse, and they didn't see where the graviton was going to come from. It was stuck to the doorway, to the door here, and they were just right there in the hallway. Great Zarya play here there by the Legend. And now they're probably going to get 4 feet for free. So
yeah, definitely. They didn't push up far enough early on, so now they're not going to get really much of a chance to defend here. They might be able to stagger on, but it's just going to be a really late defense as Apple charges in.
Yeah, and this is a little bit of desperation. He probably didn't. He needed to just sort of charge in there to sort of stop the payload, but the payload is right there. It's about 1.80 0.8 left. Now it's down to 0.54. They just want to sort of push them off. Big Earthshatter comes in, and they're going to try to move in with the Transcendence here. Kills going onto the side here of Powerhouse. They're taking this advantage really, really well. The Legend getting aggressive here on Bread, trying to sort of hold off at this point as best as they can, but that's not going to do it. They have a massive time bank here going into the final point. 5:13 here left as they're going to just get aggressive and see if they can get an early pick here as they're sort of coming out. Half comes out of the left door, and it looks like the Mercy here from Schwinn is already trapped sort of in behind. He's trying to boost Tyler to see if Tyler can get a pick here on the push. Jersey actually died. I think he might have fallen into the hole there, got pushed sort of off, and now the payload is still moving. It's moving around the second corner, and it's on the final way back, and it looks like Brett here onto the point, trying to sort of stall as best as he can, but it looks like it's going to be the Legend who is glowing like a Christmas tree, high energy, trying to sort of push in on these tanks. The fight continues here, and a Graviton pitches both Haplo and Fred. Another Dragon here coming through. There was just nothing they could do to sort of stop, to lose. Down goes the frontline tank. Looks like Schwinn trying to sort of delay as best she can on the Mercy there, using the wings. They've got 3 here on the payload, trying to move that quickly as they can. Nobody's going to get back to it. Desperation Dragon came in to stall, but it wasn't enough.
No, it definitely wasn't enough. You know, it just basically came down to how many fights they wanted to give that there. Because they didn't contest early on, they didn't get a second fight on point 2. Instead, they got a stagger on point 2. They might have wanted to let them have that one and then taken a more favorable fight as they pushed it into point 3, giving themselves 2 fights on point 3. Instead, they split the difference. You know, I don't know if you've mowed the lawn too much, Hodahori, but if you try to mow the lawn and you try to take a strip of grass, right, and you're mowing and you try to cut a lot of lawn at the same time, you might leave that little sliver of grass between 2 different strips you tried to mow. That's basically what they did there with pushes. They left themselves that sliver of grass. That's a terrible analogy, Hodahori. Come on, you gotta give me a little bit of flack for that one.
I don't know. I mean, you were trying your hardest to try to make sure that I sort of understood that analogy, but I'm gonna give you that. Come on.
I need diagrams. You know, I need to be able to draw on the screen. You know, do it. Give you a little bit of an example there. All right, we'll have to do more different analogies. But now we're on Eichenwald, and Eichenwald is a hybrid map, of course. That means the teams are going to have to capture the first capture point here with the payload sitting on it, and then push that payload 2 spaces away. So again, same strategy as before with King's Row. The difference here in Eichenwald is that there's a much harder to pass through choke point at the bridge here, about a couple little rows down there. So a lot of times teams will run dive compositions on here, or they'll run the ground and pound compositions to get on the offense. On the defense, however, a lot of times they're going to run this Orisa combination, which gives them a little bit more staying power at the choke point.
Yeah, it does, and this is one of those things in which, like, the positioning is going to be key here for the defense, because they're going to try to sort of position themselves a little farther back and sort of see what they're going to do here on offense, and sort of see if they'll need to rotate or position themselves closer to the point to see what is going on. It doesn't look like here on the offense we're going to see a lot of flanking. It's Nif here onto the Pharah, so maybe Nif will try to sort of come up with this pharmacy to sort of dislodge what they can. Tyler there's going to get some clear shots here, so Nif's got to be super careful and be around the buildings more. Tyler's going to punish that Pharah that's up in the air, and that's what I was thinking. That's what I was thinking was going to happen. So like Nif picked it right away, and immediately they're going to have to burn the res here, as now they've rotated in. Good hook there, pulls the Legend in. Right into the offense there, but does not get punished completely. Finally, the DMEC actually happens, and now Bread and Morbid get sort of team up and kill the Legend here as they lose their diva here onto the point. Now it's coming in fast and clean. So it looks like here good defense setup here by Apex, and it's going to force the reset here coming out for Powerhouse.
Yeah, definitely a good reset there. A good defensive hold there. They were able to just really absorb the dive. And again, that's something you see with these bunker comps. They kind of are anti-dive comps. But the dive team can take advantage of some of their positioning here. There are definitely some players who are standing in spots that are a little bit further away. And they also only have one healer here. So if they can get a little bit more pressure on the Schwinn, they might be able to get the damage they need to get the kills.
Yeah, but the Legend gets DMIC'd immediately coming through, gets hooked there, and they're sort of like focusing and understanding that like if they can get the diva out of the game, then that means that they're gonna have to sort of reset the whole team has to sort of reset here because they're just not going to be able to do anything, and that's exactly what's happening here. The team is sort of backed up and making sure they're positioning themselves so that they don't get picked. But as I say that, it looks like Jersey actually takes out Zoros here, so more time here going to be wasted here on this offense as Powerhouse here having real issues trying to attack cleanly.
So they're definitely having issues finding those inroads to get into the backline to the squishier characters. I mean, really, a lot of these characters can keep themselves alive. Apollo, you know, with a shield. You've got Morbid with his take a breather, able to heal himself quite a bit. And Schwinn's, of course, just not really getting the pressure. So now they've got to find a different way to get some picks here, and that might mean switching off this Widowmaker.
Yeah, I think that actually they need to get a little bit more aggressive here, and as just been able to be able to sort of help and contribute here on the ground. So it looks like they're finally getting a little bit here on the back, as now they position their dive right behind this point, and now they're going to try to dive in. They're trying to get to Tyler here into the back, but it's really just not working. It's going to cost them 3 lives here onto this push. It's just not happening here for Powerhouse as they keep trying. It looks like Tyler is just going to be their main target here as they sort of push in, but it's just not going to happen unless they're able to sort of contribute a little bit more DPS here. And now we're getting into the last end.
You know, the shield is everything here, and Zoros is... I took time to observe Zoros there the entire time, and really, he could not make any damage happen through the shield. The defense's positioning is just superb.
Yeah, and now Diva Bomb here trying on the engage. Oh, and Zoros finally does get Tyler down, and now here comes the kills. And it looks like here, Powerhouse here finally got the kills that they needed. Desperation Diva Bomb here at the end, just trying to sort of stall as best they can. But Brett is in a position where he's basically by himself there in the corner. He's going to try to come into the point. He's probably just going to end up killing himself here. So that down she goes, and that is going to be that's going to do it. They finally do get point A on Icon Balls here, but with only 30 seconds left here on the clock, they're not going to have a lot of time here on to point B. So it's going to be interesting to see what they're going to do. So it looks like Powerhouse here is going to try to sort of push up on them and not necessarily let them set up as easy as it can. Looks like a pulse bomb here just dropped, trying to catch supports Morbid and Schwinn up at the top, and they're trying to make some space for themselves. Tyler takes out Nif here, so they lose the DPS right away, and Tyler's just going big. Does take out Ike, and that's going to reset the team here a little bit. They're not going to be able to push very well, as now they're going to have to come back, and now aggressively they're coming in from Apex as they're trying to sort of push through, and then they're not going to fall for it. They're going to go back to the payload and start pushing from behind the payload here, and they're going to have to be wary of this Widow, who's going to try to sort of pick them up. Looks like Jersey here trying to sort of position himself, trying to use make sure you get the arrows in the right place as they dive in onto the high ground, trying to see if they can dislodge anybody. They won't find anyone up there. It looks like they've sort of already repositioned themselves into the back. Diva Bomb into the back, they're trying to get anyone, but Zoros takes Tyler out, so they lose their Widow here on defense, and that is the opening that they want. So they're going to try to push through, get aggressive, and it looks like the majority of Apex have fallen back into the castle, and now they're able to sort of push this payload closer to the bridge.
Yeah, definitely a little bit of miscommunication there. Haplo was kind of in a little bit too far by himself, got taken out by all 6 members of this offense. And now they got pushed back on that. So they're only going to get, again, 1 defense fight here to stop the payload from reaching point 2.
Yeah, and they're trying to come out the door with sort of a speculative dragon. They're trying to see if they were going to be able to catch anybody on the payload on the front. Diva Bomb gets sent to the doorway, and unlucky, takes Ike out. So they lose their mercy here on the initial, but they're going to try to see. They're going to try to keep going. 6 feet under comes in with the Transcendence. They're going to try to see if they can get anybody they can. Nif gets 2 into the back, so they're going to come back here. They're probably going to end up taking the advantage here, as it looks like Haplo got flying off of the castle. They have the advantage. It looks like they're not going to try to push in. Norp does come back in here for a final push. He gets immediately melted, and they will get point B.
Yeah, I mean, that's just pretty much a cut and dry offense there. There's not much to really say in the matter. Zoros got beaten around and bopped around by Haplo, but ultimately it just wasn't enough. But now both teams going to swap into these more ground and pound compositions, as we call them here, the Reinhardt Zaryas, because there's not a lot of space here to leap indoors. And that means that both teams are going to reset their ultimate. That pretty well resets the fight.
Yeah, you're absolutely right here. Jersey though still has that Hanzo ult. If he wants to maybe use it speculatively to maybe split the team up and maybe isolate the tanks, but it looks like Haplo actually takes out 6 feet under, but immediate res comes in. They need that Zenyatta here in this fight, but 2 more kills followed up there, so they're gonna back the offense up here a little bit, so they're gonna have to reset here fairly quickly. So now on the offense here, Nif and looks like Ike here are going to have to reset and wait for the rest of the team. Jersey takes out Nif, who was running away at the time, so that is going to stall them out a little more here. Looks like Apex have got a hand on this point right now.
Yeah, they definitely do, and you know, at this point, the ultimates are definitely in nobody's favor, though. So that's the interesting thing to note. Both teams still kind of coming out pretty even. I'd be looking to see how quickly this Zarya on the offense builds up Graviton. Might not be enough time to get it all the way up. Yeah,
Jersey, though, gets an immediate pick here on 6 feet under, but 2 kills here coming from the offense as they're going to try to push in and sort of take the advantage here, and now they push through. Haplo going down was huge, as now they lose the frontline tank. They're going to get some decent push here, and they're going to get all the way into the back. Bread might not be... the legend here actually does take out Morbid and Tyler, so therefore they're going to get even more push. Nobody's going to be able to sort of come out here. Jersey's going to try to get the dragon to sort of come out, but that push is still going. There's nobody on the point. That dragon might have sort of saved them here on the point. The counter dragon here from Zoros will split the point and split the players, and a good tire here takes Jersey in the back. This spawn advantage is really what's keeping sort of Horizon Apex here in the game, but they immediately lose the point now, and they capture all 3 points here on Icon.
Yep, pretty much a you know, normal push there. I mean, really coming up with 18 seconds is actually a pretty good push for Eichenwald when you cut that out there. Their Zarya really was the key, though. Legend was keeping up his energy at very, very high levels the whole time, able to sit at about average of 80 if I was observing him correctly there and watching that happen. So that let him build that Graviton, like I was saying right before. And having that Graviton surge, didn't really end up being necessary, but the damage was the implication there. He built up that through damage. That extra damage cleared out the defense here.
Yeah, so that was actually pretty huge. Like, Legend was glowing the entire time. It's so scary when you see like a Zarya that's just lit up like that and coming right down your throats, and it was just a great play there by the Legend on offense there. So now it is going to be Apex's turn here on offense. So Haplo looking like he's going to stay on the Orisa, unless there are going to be some last minute changes here. They're probably going to be talking strategy, trying to figure out what's going on. But on defense here, the defense is already sort of coming down. And is this another dive defense that I'm seeing?
Yeah, I think it is. All right. Well,
they just love this, don't they? I mean, like they feel like that this is what they're going to be running and going to be happening. But you know, I would have expected to see maybe a Rhine, you know, more likely in a reset, but it looks like they're going to try to take, you know, try to be aggressive here, but very risky again. They tried this on Anubis, right? I mean, like, and it didn't really work for them.
They tried it on King's Road too, and it just didn't quite work out for him. Again, Orisa kind of likes to plan herself and not really march forward. She's more of a defensive hero to begin with. That doesn't mean she's not good on certain offensive points, but this is definitely not one of those places. You need to get out from under this bridge quickly so you don't just get shot into the choke point ad.
Yeah, exactly. And with Haplo on the Orisa here, it's almost as if they want them to sort of come at them and just sort of draw them in. Now it looks like Bread is coming in, Haplo going into the right, so they split up the tanks a little bit here. This pharmacy here on defense sort of sitting behind the tower, just making sure that it doesn't get picked off. D.Va goes after Nif here into the air. Nothing doing, no kills yet. And as I say that, Ike goes down, and that is a huge kill, losing the Mercy here. Now it's going to be a matter of time, as now they're up 2, as it looks like here, they're going to come onto the point. Fred gets demeched here, as it looks like they've actually been able to sort of come back with like 2 more kills of their own, so a little bit of an advantage here for Apex, but it looks like the DMEC here from the Legend is going to be big. The spawn advantage is definitely with Apex here, so they're going to be able to come back faster than what Powerhouse here is going to be able to do. They don't actually get the tick, though, as kills come in on the side of Powerhouse, and now a full reset has to come in from Apex. I thought they had that in the bag. I guess they didn't.
No, it was good regroup there for starters. They didn't lose a lot of their teammates as they hit the point. So even though they lost a lot of people at the initial push, they kept people alive in time for the regroup. And a lot of that was just due to line of sighting Tyler on the Widowmaker and Jersey just not really taking as aggressive a position. I think being taken down quite early there during the defense. So keep your DPS healthy and alive. And part of that is that Haplo is just, on Orisa, and there isn't a whole lot of space that he's creating with his particular shield.
Yeah. Yeah, and now it looks like here, they're going to try it again as they're moving from the side here. But it looks like Zoros, though, with 3 big kills here on defense, and now 2 big kills, excuse me, and Mythos finishing up Haplo. They're being very aggressive here, sort of pushing in. This is that sort of power that you see from this sort of dive that they feel like that they're really doing. They're doing a pretty decent job here stopping this Orisa comp coming in from Apex. So, minute 50 here left on the clock, and Zoros here is going to be key. They want to make sure that if he can get like gets enough picks here to sort of slow them down, the dive to sort of finish it off. It looks like a Hanzo Dragon here, effectively trying to sort of come through and get to the point, but Zoros another kill here on Jersey. And a D.Va Bomb being sent into the area, but no, nothing on the D.Va Bomb, but Tyler takes 6 feet under down, so they lose a support here on defense, and it looks like an offensive D.Va Bomb being sent in and gets both Nif and Zoros. Those are 2 big kills as Brett charges in following the kills. Not looking good here on defense from Powerhouse, and it looks like they're going to have to retreat as they're going to finally get some time here on the point. Ike goes down, and both supports back down again. They're going to have to give it up here. They're going to get that take on the back of that bomb from Brett. So now here it looks like they're going to come through and going to push in a little bit. So now trying to see if they're going to be a little bit aggressive and see if they're going to be able to push on Apex. Apex here with looks like Ike and it looks like Nif here on the Hanzo trying to push up a little bit, and they're going to hold it right here at the door and trying to make sure that they don't come through.
Yeah, this will give them 2 fights, and this is
Yeah.
the difference between this defense and the previous one. They're opening up their opportunity to get a second fight later on if they do lose this one.
Yeah, and Zoros does get a big pick here on Tyler, so that might be the go here for them to sort of get a little aggressive and make sure that they can sort of hold them down here at sort of the portcullis. And Morbid does go down. It looks like another Hanzo Dragon comes through, but they've done what they've needed to do. It looks like here down 2, Apex are going to have to sort of reset. It looks like Nif here poking from the left here, trying to see if he can get anybody from the back as they wait for Morbid to sort of come back. And it looks like the majority of the defense here is trying to position themselves at the first corner, but Zoros gets taken out, so a big pick there by Tyler, and Tyler just doing a lot of work as 6 feet under comes in with the Transcendence to counter that Dragon that sort of came in, just so that they can sort of stay alive here during this push, not getting the kills that they need, as it's all been Apex coming through. D.Va Bomb here is on the other side of that shield. That's not going to do anything, so they're going to keep getting the push and the kills that they need. Looking pretty good as they come around the second corner here, and it looks like a reset here from Powerhouse.
Yep. Once again, it looks like, this comp is just very good at absorbing dive. So even though they were losing a little bit early on, they had the closer spawn, so they were able to get people back very quickly and able to utilize, especially this Brigida, as an anti-dive character. And so now they have all this extra armor, and the second point is looking like it's going to be another strong push for them. Again, Brigida, such a good anti-dive character.
Yeah, such a great anti-dive character, and down goes the Legend. And the Legend finds that firsthand as the Dragon here comes in to sort of go in through the other door here to stop them from coming in through the other side. It does get Nif here, and now they're down 1 as they're sort of trying to push through. Jersey doing some work here, takes 2 picks of his own. Mongo gets put down really far back, trying to make sure that they keep it as they sort of come in. Ike trying to sort of hold on the point by himself, but as that Mercy is not going to be able to do very much. So he gets immediately taken out, and they do give up point B here. But with 2:32 here on the clock, this is one of the harder points in Overwatch. They're gonna need to get as much space as they can as Dersey tries to go into the shield of Mythos there.
Absolutely, and honestly here, look at the difference in comps here. Now that the defense has to swap, they're not going to really keep their ultimate. They are going to get switched from Orisa to Reinhardt here, though. And look at Hanzo. Yeah, Jersey taking a little bit too offensive a position there. But the Brigida was interesting. Morbid's hero pool is something we should really call into question here, too. He's got Tracer, Zenyatta, Brigida, and Roadhog as his 4 played heroes so far in this scrim. That's not the usual combination for your Zenyatta player.
No, it's not. It seems like he was in a deathmatch comp, actually. So he plays a lot of deathmatch with those players that he's been able to sort of play on. So now Dragon comes in, and it goes into the back, splits the team, keeps the tanks up front, but Zoros there able to take Dersey out. So therefore, that was going to be a pick, but they're going to use that to sort of keep pushing through. He immediately gets res. But now Transcendence comes in. They're going to use that to sort of push in through, and Tyler goes down here, and they're going to get aggressive here, trying to use up that Transcendence as best they can, and try to make sure that they get anybody that they can coming in from Apex, as Apex has to sort of fall back a little bit. But no, Dersey gets 2 coming back, and now it's just ping-ponging back and forth between the 2 teams as they're sort of coming through. But remember, the spawn is really, really close, and sort of Nif has to fall back. He's got to be careful. He doesn't get picked here. He's got to go back into the spawn. They're almost there here. They're going to come back here into the team. They're going to have to touch it right before it looks like a ult comes in, but that gets taken out. Nif's tire gets taken out, and a Dragon here makes sure that they don't complete the point with only 2 meters left. Haplo trying to get any kills that they can. Zoros gets rezzed as he was taken out early by Tyler. And now Tyler with another tire here taking out Mythos in the back. They do get the complete.
Whoops. Yeah, that was a big mistake. I need to put on the point there at the end to at least hold up the timer. And if we were to go on to another round here, it would be about a minute 27. Yeah, minute 27. So 27 extra seconds there from their offense there. So, yeah, very interesting push there. And really, look at Morbid's ult charge. If you looked at that before we got into that, that was 100% ultimate build in one fight on the Zenyatta. That was the extra damage that really pushed them forward and got them that point. But now, let's talk about Horizon Lunar Colony here. You know, 2CP was not a very favorable map for either of these teams. Neither were able to close out Anubis, close out the cap of both points. In fact, one of the teams, refresh my memory, Hodori, was not able to capture point 1. Which team was that, actually?
That was, I think, Powerhouse, who was unable to sort of cap because their dive just wasn't able to sort of capitalize on the sort of the pump that was coming on. So they were diving into an Orisa Diva that wasn't getting moved, and that was that crazy healing that was coming out. That was from Morbid, who was able to sort of keep them up. So I'm wondering if you're going to see something similar here, where where it looks like it will be sort of Apex here on the defense against sort of possibly a dive that might come in here from Powerhouse.
Yeah, you know what's interesting here about this? Look at this defensive comp here. Again, Morbid, the choices that Morbid make just are always what I'm going to be looking at with this particular team here, right? This time he's choosing to go with the Zenyatta, and a lot of times we do see that triple tank combination where he might want to run Roadhog on this map. So it'll be interesting to see if he survives the dive, which can typically be deadly for Zenyatas on this point.
Yeah, and he's got to be careful. So positioning is going to be super key here. So what they're doing, since they're not going to be running that Torb, they're going to probably just going to hold up on the right side as you're sort of coming into Horizon here and going to trade that defense. So Morbid has to be super, super careful here with the dive coming in. That's going to they're going to try to sort of focus him down. And it looks like Dersey here on the Junkrat is going to try to sort of spam damage in and try to make sure that they don't get a clean engage, or make sure that they can get Mythos and the Legend maybe down far enough so by the time that they land and sort of finish them off here as they get up. So gonna push Tyler up and see if he can get an early pick here onto the right. So Tracer coming in here from Zoros, maybe going straight to the point here and try to sort of force them back as soon as they start hearing some ticks coming off on the some ticks going off onto the point. But looks like very, very quiet here. As it looks to me, I think what Powerhouse is trying to do is they're trying to sort of move them off here with their flankers. You saw and it looks like, yeah, they had the Sombra comp coming through, and now they're finally diving in. Haplo does take out Mythos, but Nif goes down too, and the Legend actually gets DMAX, so this is not working here as they getting on the point. But they're going to give away a tick as Zoros basically just sort of stood on the point while the dive came in. So I don't know if they're specifically trying to get it one tick at a time, but that was very interesting play there.
Yeah, you know, really, that was making making a very a very good situation out of what was absolutely a failed coordination there. Unfortunately for 6 feet under, this Sombra being in stealth does not stop them from seeing the doors opening behind them. And he was never really able to engage there. But now they're just going to jump on the point and force them back, which is what the idea of this comp is. Dive in, get a free tick while that's going on.
Yeah, that's the thing. They've already given up another tick here as 6 feet under on that Sombra gets the tick. Nick goes down again, and they're just doing this a little bit piecemeal here as Tyler gets the picks that she needs. Now it looks like Zoro's here on the point, trying to sort of one-on-one bread the diva as immediately sort of fall back. Now it looks like Apex here going to fall back onto the point as their defense can't be set up there and give away another tick because they'd end up giving away point A.
Yeah, so they got the tick. That's what's important here. And if they do it again, they'll get another tick. And so this defense has got to pay a little bit more attention to getting to the point. It looks like they're setting up a little bit differently now, knowing that this Sombra. yeah, that Sombra right there is going to be coming up behind them. So they got to pay a little bit more attention, probably just camp on the point. And that's actually going to give the advantage more to the offense because now they're going to be grouped up for the Sombra hold.
Yeah, and now that's going to give this dive that sort of opening that they want. So that's exactly what they're doing. It looks like a Diva Bomb here just gets sent out, but does get two. So like most of Powerhouse here gets taken out here as they've had to sort of fall back. Apex has had to fall back and sort of defend a little farther back, but they were able to sort of hold them off, and now they've moved forward again here with only a minute left. And now the Sombra here is still on the outside. It's got to be super, super careful. She's like sort of playing around in space.
I'm not sure what she's doing there, Hadori. I mean, this is, again, just kind of not being put in a position where they can really do anything. Now when they dive in, look, not really in position to do anything here. Not even in position to EMP, which is what they really need to do.
That's exactly right, but Nif is making up for the sort of coordination issues that they might be having as he takes down 3. Now it gets down to Bread and Haplo. They're probably going to end up taking this point now relatively quickly, even though there's still kills coming in on both sides, but Mythos and Zoro is able to sort of finish it off. Very interesting defense here. Tyler gets sort of stuck, and now they're going to try to stagger Tyler as best they can. But my God, what is going on? Tyler takes out 2 before he himself goes down. What was that? Oh my goodness, they were trying to stagger, and Tyler gets the kills. So not an immediate sort of bum rush. They were trying to sort of see if they could stagger Tyler and then take this fight 6v5, but that's not going to happen now, as they're sort of going to have to wait for a couple of their players. Unreal.
Definitely should realize that, you know, Widowmaker is a sniper, not a regular machine gun character. So Widow 76 coming out from Tyler there, able to definitely use the machine gun to her advantage. Didn't really give them a whole lot there though. You know, this team still had to take time to regroup and everything.
No, absolutely. And now here comes the dive into the corner, and now they've got the EMP out. So, but they've fallen back a little bit, and now they're going to be able to sort of focus here on Aplo, who's by himself on the point. Bread has been demeched and has to sort of run back. Aplo had to actually jump back in. The advantage kills here on the side of Powerhouse as they're building up tick advantage. So Bread gets back into the mech, gets immediately demeched again. Gonna have to try to tick him out quickly, and now they're gonna get 1 tick here. No, they still haven't gotten the tick yet. Now they finally do, as Jersey comes out on that Brigitte here, trying to sort of hold off as best as they can, but they're getting sort of staggered pretty badly here. Haplo's going to try to jump onto the point to stop the ticks to come down. Zivocom here trying to sort of clear out as many people as they can. Haplo here trying to sort of stall out, as now joined by Bread and Jersey here, just trying to sort of stall out as best as they can. Like the Winston ult here is trying to sort of move everybody off point, but it looks like the kills on 6 feet under and the defense on the Legend is going to sort of stop this offense, cold. But at 90%, they do get 2 ticks, and that's going to be very advantageous for them.
Brigitte playing back there with Mercy and letting them have the second tick allowed them to stay alive so that they could get this and recapture the point before it ticked over to the 3rd tick. So even though they let them have a tick there, and some people at home might be looking and going, well, why did they let them have that? They could have jumped on the point and stopped them from getting the 2nd tick, right? No, they would have died, and then the rest of their team would have died, and they would have taken all 3. So sometimes give a little bit, lose the battle to win the war.
No, you're absolutely right, and that's a lot of teams have that issue, sort of trying to capture the final point here of of a sort of a 2CP map as they're trying to sort of stall out. They forget that, you know, you'll have a better chance at a fight win if you go in 6v6. Now, but the problem is now they really they can't go up any ticks as Nif here goes into the back, immediately takes Tyler down, and with an EMP coming down, just trying to see if they can finish off this sort of last 8% as they sort of go in. Looks like Mythos there trying to focus on Schwinn J, but the rest of his team is sort of falling around him, so he's now the only one here left on the point. So it's 6 feet under here, who's going to get killed off by the Orisa. Nothing doing there on that attack, but 92% still on the tick here. They just need to win pretty much one fight and be able to sort of finish this off. But they're going to have to try again. With 123 here left on the clock, they might not be able to get more than one fight if this fight dragged on. But now they're coming in as Tyler was taken up but immediately rezzed here, so they lose the advantage here as Schwinn J has to burn the res right away. And now it looks like Tyler takes out 6 feet under, so losing the Zen here is immediately going to call for a reset, as they do not want to go in 5v6 and they're going to wait for the Zen to come back. And now the 60-second call.
They're definitely going to have to wait for Zen to come back. Nif swapped off to this Hanzo after missing yet another Genji blade. He seemed to have had a lot of trouble dealing with the Genji blade, but honestly, this other team here has just had done a very good job of canceling it out, even though they're not really using Transcendence to do so. So now Morbid's got this Transcendence available. They're going to once again get some early picks here. All this delay is just causing less fights that they have, less opportunities to capture this last tick.
Yeah, and with four ults here on the side of the defense, it looks like Apex here is going to have a real advantage of holding this point. So it looks like the dive comes in, Zoros gets taken out here by Tyler. Transcendence here now comes out by Morbid to make sure that this fight will last. They can stay within this fight. So they have to be careful, but they're getting zoned out here, so they have to be super careful here into the corner. Diva Bomb here tries to move the rest of Powerhouse here off of the point, but kills coming in from both tanks here, as it looks like Mythos here is trying to sort of move everybody off. Genji Blade here coming out from Dersey, trying to sort of get anybody here on the point. He's got to be careful he doesn't get picked off, as he is sort of outnumbered here a little bit. The Legend get demexed, but is able to sort of keep shooting. They capped the point as they were sort of backed off, and the Legend was the only one left on the point. Bread had abandoned to sort of chase another thing, and now they capture in overtime. So good. I don't know if that was good job more from Powerhouse or more Apex sort of forgetting to sort of stay on the point.
Well, I think it was a little bit of both, right? I mean, yeah. Apex definitely could have gotten on the point there with 3 different characters that were right there able to get on. Diva DMEC did push her a little bit on point, though, so that was a little... I can't give the Diva too much flack for that one. But the offense recognized a few things, and that was that they positioned their tanks in such a way that, you know, they weren't really giving any ground on that second point. They didn't want anybody to get on that point without taking a massive amount of damage. So Dersey was kind of, you know, pushed a little bit away from that. Oh, the good news for us, though, here on the outside is that they don't have to reset the map. So, you know, that's great. So hopefully here we see a little bit, another better offense here from the other side here from Apex. Definitely would be interesting to see if they're able to get a tick here. They were able last time to get one point, but weren't able to fully capture out the second point.
Yeah, and they want to have a better performance here on this 2CP map. So it looks like with the dive defense here, it's going to be interesting to see where Mythos and company actually position themselves, because without the sort of like crazy Orisa shield which we normally see on Horizon, they're going to sort of be aggressive and sort of hold up closer to the front, and sort of get them as they sort of come through this little mini choke, and see if they can maybe get the straggler. So they're going to aim for most likely the supports here. So Schwinn and sort of looks like Schwinn is by himself here on the support, so that'll be the preemptive target. So Morbid and Dersey here on both the sort of double flankers with the Sombra and the Tracer, maybe going to try to get onto the point here and maybe sort of move this dive a little farther back and probably play a distraction here. So initial shot there's from Zoros, doesn't really catch anyone. Dersey staying invisible, looking for a path onto the point here. It goes immediately into the mega pack room underneath the sort of right side here, and it's probably just going to wait for the rest of the team to sort of come through and figure out what they're going to do. So now it looks like Red has figured out that there are going to be they're going to be in sort of a dive formation. Now the team's pretty much split up though, so now here comes the dive here from Haplo onto the back corner. So they've decided to go after the Winston here, so after Mythos, but Red gets Team X, so that's going to be a big takedown, as looks like the Tracer went onto the point, but they didn't get the distraction and the stall in the fight that they needed. So Haplo is still trying to push in here, both on Nif Nif and the Legend. He gets the Legend demech, and Nif Nif goes down. So two big takeouts there. It looks like they're going to try to keep taking this fight on because he's going to go after what's going on here. So they finally get back onto the point, so it looks like they're gonna have to get backed up. Tyler with two big hits as he goes in. Haplo dives in on 6 feet under, so this defense is falling apart again here for the dive, so it's just not able to sort of pull them out, and this is going to be a take here for Apex.
Yeah, this is actually showing how to execute on a dive here with a Sombra. Jersey definitely doing a little bit better job of moving in with the team and being able to actually coordinate and get shots in while the team was diving in, de-stealthing at the exact right time. So now they're definitely up on the ult advantage here as well. Jersey, I'd be looking for see if he can get that EMP here. If he can pull that off, I think they might be able to cap the second point pretty quickly.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. So they just got to make sure that they get that right off on the right characters in the right place. So Jersey immediately sort of heads right to the back corner at the engaged take side into the side here. Zoros take out Tyler, so they're gonna lose their Widowmaker here on this initial push. So they might sort of stall off and sort of back on up. That's exactly what they're doing. Haplo is retreating with the rest of his team here back into the sort of research areas. Nif Nif cases a little bit, but is not going to full commit here. It looks like the Legend here on the Diva. Trying to sort of poke and see if there's anybody that maybe they can get a quick kill on, but they're falling back too. Now they're falling back, but look at this ult fiesta that's probably going to come out from both teams. It looks like Zoro's popped the vision right away here, and Nif Nif actually switches over to the Hanzo. So it looks like they're going to sort of abandon that a little bit here. So they're going to try to sort of use that to their advantage. The engage still hasn't happened yet, as they're sort of waiting to make sure what is going to happen here. So now Brett and Morbid are coming in from the top side. Tyler is going to be trying to pick anybody off from the side. Jersey's positioned himself right on above the ground. So Jersey's not going to really engage until they absolutely need him to with the EMP, and the EMP gets popped, and they weren't sort of able to sort of get anybody up. It looks like Powerhouse was ready for it to sort of come in. They knew they were going to get EMP'd. They sort of fell back a little bit, giving up a tick, and now it looks like the Winston ult's here, coming fast and furious, trying to sort of move people out of the way. But 3 big kills here coming in from Apex as they're going to try to sort of finish this out right here. They've got a 5-2 advantage onto the point as they're trying to sort of finish off that Doomfist. Nif Nif comes in, trying to sort of stall. Ike gets hacked and immediately killed here, and they get the point in way quicker time here than Powerhouse. I think there was about 3 to 4 minutes left on the clock.
Well, I mean, it's pretty cut and dry. They took the space of the point. They just kind of stayed on it. And just weren't any inroads there. They didn't really make it and weren't really able to do a whole lot of damage there to get them off. Basically, healers just kept them up the whole time. So, but I think that's going to be it. That's going to be our final match of the night. Hoda, hurry. Bring it down here. Let's end this cast today.
All right, so that's going to do it for us, but both teams here are looking pretty good. And remember, this weekend, folks, the Horizon Community Cup will be on this channel starting at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. Both teams, Team Apex and Team Powerhouse, will be playing in that tournament. Remember, signups close tomorrow at I think afternoon. So if you are still interested in joining the Horizon Community Cup, it will start. It is a 2-day tournament starting on Saturday, ending on Sunday. So it should be a great showcase event here for the Horizon community. But that's going to do it for us, for HX, for myself, and for our producer, Julian, who's been watching and been very patient with us. Thank you so much for joining us today here on the Horizon channel. Team Apex and Team Powerhouse there with a great scrim. That's going to do it. Thank you very much for joining us today, and we will see you next time.